How you doing, everybody? I'm Kitt Kiarie, and I'm joined by my brother-in-law.
Hey guys,
KARL.
Me again. How are you?
He's back with a bang.
By popular demand.
People have been asking for him. Instagram, YouTube, everybody's like, bring that man back.
Oh,
bring that. I'm going to link the videos that we did together down below.
Yes.
And today we're talking about awkward money conversations.
Ooh, spicy topic, eh?
Spicy. Again, I have not looked at the questions. I like to be surprised as well.
Now I'm scared.
So the questions were sent to me, and I'm going to read them out, and then you're going to answer them. If you people do not know, KARL is the money guy.
Yes.
You're a what are you? Let me not botch it. Say what you are.
What am I? I am a management consultant.
Yes.
I am a qualified financial advisor. With over 20 years experience in all things money. He's
an old guy. The way you see him here looking young. He's old. He's just an old guy. Right. So if you like this type of content, please like, please subscribe, and you can also listen to us on Spotify, free to be. Okay? Yeah. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's get in.
Number one, if I wanted to hide my assets from my spouse, how would I go about it?
What? Are you hearing money dramas now? People want to start hiding money.
Not start. First of all, this thing is something we are told in bridal showers. How to hide money.
And you know, the funny thing is, I mean, Sophie and I were talking about this the other day. It's like every woman is told that you have to have a secret account. Now, for me, I would say it all depends on what your motive is. Because sometimes you can look at how things are going and you're like, hey, this guy, the way he's peleka in me, is going to leave me high and dry.
Right.
I'll be there, you know, spending 20 years taking care of the kids.
Yes.
And then he might just decide to up and leave and have nothing to fall back.
I mean, but without the morality of it.
You know.
Without the morality? Because I know now you've brought in morality.
No, that's why I'm saying it depends. But either way, I would say it's important to have your own thing from the get-go.
Okay.
And if you're going to do that...
No, but I want to hide.
Yeah, I know. So hang on, I'm coming to it.
You know, so you answer questions. Doesn't he answer questions the way Martin answers? Martin will be like, I know what you've asked, but what you're trying to ask is this.
Exactly. This is where I'm coming to, right? Because one of the things about money doesn't have a character of its own. It takes on the character of whoever has hand is in. That's why I talked about motive. So if your motive is to hide money and save for a rainy day and that kind of thing, then that's why you need to start looking at. Remember, I told you in the previous episode we talked about risk levels. If this is money you cannot afford to lose, go and invest in things like T-bills, fixed deposit accounts, money that you know that is safe and cannot, cannot be lost unless maybe the bank collapses or something like that. But go and invest in those things.
Can I say what I'm hearing? The fact that it doesn't matter where you put your money. You can put your money anywhere.
Yes.
As an adult, you really don't have to tell anybody where you've put your money.
Exactly. That is it. That is exactly it.
So
that's why I said have your own thing from the start. But even then, as an adult, you don't have to tell anybody where your stuff is, But
Not-
it depends on
Yeah.
the nature of the relationship you're in.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
And it depends on how you trust each other. There are some guys who are willing to say everything, but then there are some other people who are like, hey, this guy, if I tell him everything, then he's just going to take advantage.
Yeah.
So you have the license to withhold some information
Yeah.
for your own good.
Yeah.
You see. So yeah, it depends.
It depends.
It depends.
But you can be out here hiding my assets.
If you-
Land.
Yeah, you can. You can.
You
But
just
like
buy
I
it
said,
and don't talk about it.
yeah, but like I said, motive. What is your motive?
Okay. Is it, number 2,
Uh.
is it possible to cheat on taxes without getting caught?
Never.
You know what I have found out about money?
Never.
Money has a footprint.
Yes. Never.
That's
never.
why when you're trying to, when you have illegal money, you have to use it in a way that it's legit, like it comes back to you legitimately.
Absolutely.
Because money has
Absolutely.
a footprint.
Absolutely. And can I also say something else with
Yes,
that?
yes.
If you ever watch some of these crime movies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're trying to catch someone, what do they say?
Yeah. What is
Follow
it?
the
Follow
money.
the money.
Because money leaves a trail.
It has to. It even if the
You see.
trail is a long, many years
Yeah.
ago, there's a trail.
Yeah, there is always a trail. Whether
Yeah.
it is illegal or not, there is a
There's
trail.
a trail. That's why, like, when you watch these movies and they steal a huge amount of money, they spend it so slowly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Their lifestyle does not change.
Their lifestyle doesn't change, or they start going and buying things that are really obscure.
Right,
And this
right,
is why
uh-huh.
in banking, those of you who are in banking will know about this. When you're trying to spot things like money laundering,
Yeah.
you're always looking for inconsistent patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you're a person who goes and sells stuff at Masai Market, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
and then now all of a sudden you're going to buy exotic art,
No.
doesn't make sense, right?
Absolutely no.
So it's stuff like that. So for me, when it comes to taxes, by
Yeah.
the way, I am always an advocate.
Yes.
You have to pay your taxes on time. The reason being that if you don't, then what happens is you get hammered by penalties.
Yes.
And then now it becomes, the penalties add up so much that they become even more than the tax you owed in the first place.
You can't.
So it's just not worth doing.
It's just not worth it.
If you want an
You can't
easy
cheat.
life,
You can't cheat, guys.
cheat on your taxes.
You can't.
Just don't.
You will get caught.
Yeah.
Eventually. If it's not today, it
Yeah.
will be tomorrow, it
Yeah,
will
yeah,
be 10
yeah.
years from
Yeah.
now. You will get caught.
And to be honest, it's not worth it.
It's
because,
just not.
Because even if you do, right, when you're caught, you're not only going to have to pay those taxes back, but you also have jail term
Yes.
to serve.
Right, absolutely.
So you're
yeah.
losing on both ends. You're losing your life, and then you're also losing the money that you tried to save. So it's just not worth it.
Sure.
No.
Is it possible to invest my money in a scheme that promises huge returns with little risk and actually get the huge returns?
Hell no.
Hi, KARL.
I'll tell you why.
Hi, KARL.
Because that right there is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. What Ponzi schemes do is they promise you huge returns, not
Yeah.
because they're investing,
No.
but it's because they are paying you,
Moving money
from
around.
they are paying you from the contributions of other people.
Yeah,
The minute that
Yeah.
music chair stops,
yeah. Done.
you know, in English, in the English people have a saying, you know, when the music stops, that's
Yes.
when you see who is swimming commando.
That picture in my head.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yee.
So you might be very lucky if you go and invest in those things and then you get out just before the music stops. But
Yes.
even that is just such a huge
That's
risk
a huge
because
risk.
you don't
That's a
know
huge
when
risk.
the music will
is going to stop.
So you might as well not do it because it's a lie. Because no one who ever makes money
Yeah.
well or makes or makes good returns
Yeah.
ever does it quickly.
No.
It takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It always takes time.
It has to.
Mm.
Is it possible to get a loan without disclosing all my debt?
Okay. I would say you can choose not to disclose, but it is not advisable to do that for 3 reasons. Number one, when you apply for loans, there are these things done called credit searches and credit checks. I know in Kenya now they have credit reference bureaus that do this kind of thing. And the thing
all these Tala loans,
all those Tala, Mshwari, all these things,
they add up.
They add up, right? And the thing is, with your credit record, it captures everything that you've done. So even if you don't disclose, the lender will find out anyway.
They will know.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two is, even if on the off chance the lender makes a mistake and does not do their credit check thoroughly, it will still bite you, because they will realize over time you're not able to service that loan because you have other debts that you're servicing. Right? So over time they'll be like, this guy is missing his payment. And it's not that because they didn't do their checks and all of that. It's because you are not meeting the payment that is required. And then what ends up happening is now you start finding default, and then bailiffs come, and then now your stuff is being auctioned. And that's just worse. Number 3 is, from a conscience perspective, you would rather be upfront about these things, because you're only as good as the last good debt that you paid when it comes to your financial life.
Got that.
You see what I mean? And the thing is, financial institutions share information all the time. If you go and
they're all in each other's business.
They're all in each other's business. So if you go and now chenga one, you'll go and try and apply for another, and then they'll be like, but you're the same guy who didn't disclose everything here. So you cheat on one, it will be very hard for you to get another one, because this information is available, because they always share information, especially around credit records and around track record of borrowing.
Just tell the truth.
And then the other thing is, although this is more applicable in this part of the world, is your credit record.
KARL lives in the UK.
In the UK. So, and it's the same thing in the US and other countries. Your credit record is also something that can also impact your employment opportunities.
Why?
Because let me give you an example. So like in my industry, in financial services, when you go and apply for certain jobs, they look at your credit record, because if you are seen to manage debt well, then that is almost saying this person is a person of good standing and has good character, because they honor their obligations.
Now, but I need a job. I'm in debt.
But I'm just saying, in certain industries.
No, I completely understand it. But now I'm like, I need a job. I'm in debt. What am I? I need a job. And now nobody is going to give me a job because I have so much debt.
It's not that you have so much debt. Is that you have withheld certain information on your debts. And all those things add up to your credit record. You see? So it's not even that you have debt.
No, it's not about
the fact that you withheld information. So in legal terms, it's actually called misrepresentation. You are leading people to believe something that is not true. And eventually you get found out. So now in this part of the world, there are certain sectors that are heavily regulated. And if they find out that about you, it precludes you from working in that sector. So
there you have it.
Not worth it.
No. What is the best answer when someone asks me an invasive question about my finances in front of a group? This is a good one. Good question. Margaret, where did you find these questions?
Is a very good one. Okay, so I think some of these things also depend on setting, context, all those kind of things. But generally speaking,
birthday party. Somebody asks you, by the way, how much do you pay? How much do you pay rent? What are Kenyans? We love asking people how much they pay rent.
Or even things like, oh, how much do you buy this car for? Oh, I'm thinking of importing. But really it's not that they're thinking of importing, it's that they're trying to compare where you are versus where they are. So for me, some of these things, there are a number of ways to do it. Number one is ignore the question
So in front
and
of the
move
group,
on.
you just be like,
yeah, you're like, you know, it's not relevant. Move on. Yeah. The other thing is you give just enough of an answer to keep them curious, but not enough information for them to make any deductions about where you are.
Yeah.
You know, so you can say something like, for example, where do your kids go to school? How much do you pay per term? You tell them the information is available on the website. You can go and check. You don't have to validate the answer. You don't have especially when the information is publicly available.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then, you know, they'll come and start asking, oh, your child is how old? They are growing so quickly. So that now they can start gauging what standard or what year. No. This is what people do. They ask seemingly innocent questions to try and build up a picture. So you keep deflecting and saying, this information is available. You can go and check there.
Okay. So deflect. That's one way. That's I mean, I would possibly just say, guys, what kind of question is that? That's personal.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you ignore, I would just say, or you just stonewall and say it's irrelevant. Why are you asking this? This is a very personal question. You know, if you want to ask me that, come and talk to me one-on-one. You know, and then even then I can choose whether to tell you or not.
Some people are
because generally it's none of your business.
It's just not. It's not. Why does talking about money make people uncomfortable?
Okay, simple answer. Because money affects relationships.
And I feel like money has been made to be like a measure of your worth.
Yes, that too. And then the other thing, money is almost seen as this measure of value, value, not even at materially. Value in terms of what is your status in society. Are you worth more than someone else? And then the other thing is, I think that makes money conversations uncomfortable is when people get into agreements about money, but that are loaded with a lot of assumptions. So for example, if my friend comes and tells me, hey Maze, I'm in a tight spot today, I can't pay rent, could you lend me these tunes? You know, I'll pay you back in a month. What happens is you say, okay, I'm going to lend you this money because they've told you they're paying you back, but oftentimes you're not going to see that money back because they're not able to pay. So this is where now you have to have the wisdom to decide, whatever I'm giving you, by this money I can afford to lose. So if someone comes and asks me, I want 30k, you don't have to give them 30k. No. You can give them 10k. You can give them 10k. And say, this is what I can afford, without you expecting it back. Where it becomes awkward now is you say, this is my friend, I'm going to give you 30k. And then because they've told you they're paying you back, then now you're calling after every month. By the way, I need that tune. And then the relationship just breaks down. This is it. It does, because now you lied, you're not giving me back the money, you keep skirting my calls, all of these things. Then now it's no longer about the money. It's not exactly, you see. And then the other thing is, unfortunately, this is the other hard thing about money, is people make emotional decisions about money when actually what you need is facts. So for example, if I know that a friend that I have is a friend for Hanye and having fun and partying, I'm not going to expect that person to be responsible with money if they've not shown themselves to be responsible. So why would I then expect this person to be able to honor their promise if I know for a long time? You know the track record. Susan is very good with, if I want a plot for the weekend and I'm bored, I'll go and talk to Susan. But now when Susan comes and tells me, lend me money, I'll pay you back, I know she's not good with money. So why would I expect her to pay me back if she hasn't shown that character? And why am I giving her money? And why am I giving her money? What I'm doing is enabling her. So now that's why money conversations are awkward. So awkward. Is when people bring they bring emotions to things that are about facts. It's black and white. Okay. How does a prenup work? Okay, so prenups are... I like this question. Yeah, this is a very good question by the way. And it's something that I personally advocate for. Yes. Reason being... oh, and not to cut you off, but did you know there's also a
Okay, first of all, there's a post-nap.
Yes, there's post-nap, yeah.
Because this one is pre-nuptial, and then there's a post-nuptial after you're married. But there's also a pre-baby. What's it
yes,
called?
I've heard of it. That
You've
as
heard
well.
of that?
Yeah,
So it's an agreement
I think,
of how we're going to everything
before children come.
before we have the children.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I've heard of that one as well. It's not as common.
Yeah,
but
and it's mainly for, let's say, if one spouse doesn't want a child and the other one really wants a child.
Yes,
they have an agreement of how this is going to run, what's going to do, who's going to be the primary caregiver, usually the one who wants the child.
Exactly.
Yeah, but a lot of women get into that trap of you get a child for someone and then you never wanted children and now you're the one doing everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But talk about the prenup.
So prenup for me is one of those things that is essential, particularly now because you have a lot of blended families.
Okay.
So where people get together who maybe were previously divorced or widowed.
Yes. Yeah.
You've accumulated assets from your previous marriage.
Yeah.
And or even sometimes in some cases you're getting together later in life, like you're in your 60s and 70s, where you're it's all about companionship at that point.
But I feel like even 40s would be later in life.
Yeah.
Later, because now you've had a bit of time
to
acquire
some things.
Yeah.
They're important because what they do is they basically say the simplest forms.
Yes.
Basically say whatever I acquired before I met you remains mine.
Okay.
So anything that if anything happens in this marriage, whatever we accumulate together is what is the subject of splitting in this marriage.
Okay.
Any assets that we acquire when we are together, that is what is in scope.
Okay.
But anything we had before we met is out of scope. And that's important, especially where if you have children from your previous marriage, and you don't want to put them in a position where they are being affected by someone else coming in and having claim to what was not theirs because they didn't work for it, quote unquote. That's where now prenups become important.
Yeah, and also if you have family wealth, because a lot of people have wealth that does not belong to them only, it belongs to them and their family. It has been acquired for centuries.
Exactly. There we are. So that's where now you start talking about dynasties and generational wealth, that kind of stuff too. The other thing I would say with prenups is the prenup is important, but like I said in remember I told you guys in one of the previous episodes we did, it is important to tell your money where to go while you're here and when you're gone.
Or when you're gone.
So anything to do with a prenup, always, my advice would be, always has to be accompanied by a will.
Because I've also seen those ones, like a prenup of anything that I had before we got married is out of scope. Also the things that we acquire together, they're only in scope if we stay married longer than
that too. Exactly.
This number of years if I live past
exactly.
This number of years, stuff like that.
Exactly. And then the other thing with prenups as well is you could have situations where people get together and maybe one of them has a terminal illness. You see, so now because they are there for the companionship, you don't want to put you don't put yourself in a situation where after you pass on, you're leaving your wealth to
a new
relative stranger, even though you're together, but a relative stranger compared to you see. So those are the things that cause complications as well. So that's where for me, I especially for women, this is where for me I advocate prenups.
They should have a prenup.
They should have if they can. Like again, depending on what stage of life you're at. And again, with all of these things, it's all subjective depending on the quality of the relationship and the trust that's there, and how you've got to know each other and all that kind of stuff, because those things are individual.
And then that thing of people thinking, Africans have this thought a lot. When you write a will, you're calling death. When you have a prenup, you're calling divorce. When you
and for me, that's the stupidest thing, by the way.
Stop!
That's the stupidest thing. Because, the thing is, whether we like it or not,
nobody's making it out alive.
No one, exactly.
That's
we are
number
all
one.
guaranteed to go at one point or another. And then the second thing is, we don't know when that time will come.
We just don't.
So why not prepare for something you know is a certainty?
Prepare.
You know.
Period.
So I think that kind of taboo thing, it's nonsense.
We need to stop.
Yeah,
in this day and age, please.
Yeah.
What is the best way to bring up a conversation about finances with a partner? So maybe not. I even want to say not a married partner. You started seeing each other. It is now getting serious. You need to talk about money.
Okay.
And money is important.
Yes.
You can't just be like, he pays for stuff. Or whatever. It's important to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the same vein, it's also important to talk about things like kids.
Bro. Absolutely.
But yeah, so for me, I think the best time to talk about that stuff is when you get an inkling that this relationship is becoming serious.
Yeah.
That's the best time to talk about it. And even then, have a very open, frank, no holds barred conversation about money.
So just be like, let's talk about money today.
Yeah. And I would say ask open but intrusive questions. Because you see,
what sort of questions would you ask?
Let me give you examples. So things like, how much debt do you have right now? Things like, what are your goals for your money in 5 years' time?
Also, how much do you earn?
How much do you earn? Exactly.
And what are your expenses?
What are your sources of income?
Yeah, what are your sources of income? What are your expenses?
Yeah. What are your expenses?
People never talk about that. And it's almost as, and especially women don't want to ask men about it.
Exactly.
Because you'll come off as a gold digger.
There we are. And it's not even about that. It is about you trying to figure out.
You have to have a full picture, honestly, of this person.
Of this person. And also trying to figure out a number of things.
Yes.
Is where do I fit in?
Yeah.
Into this financial picture with this person.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, what are they able to bring to the table to further my agenda as well? Right,
because if you're going to be partners for life.
Yeah. You see, there are even other things. And these are some of the more intrusive questions I'm asking. It's things like, if you know that they were in a previous relationship and they've had kids.
Right.
How much childcare are you paying for?
Bro.
Yeah? Especially when you have baby mamas and all these kind of baby daddy dramas.
I have people who have told me they've entered that situation and they're like, and they one of them, the situation didn't even work out, like the relationship didn't work out. They also now had children with this person.
Now you see.
And they were always feeling like that family comes first.
There we are.
In such a way.
Exactly.
There's a way that family comes first.
Exactly.
And they were just like, so it's very important.
It's so important. And then obviously, like I was saying, you know, money, like I said, doesn't have a character of its own.
No.
It goes based on the dynamics of whoever is holding it. So for those kind of baby mama dramas, it's also things like, what you want to know is, what is the nature of that relationship and what is the state of it? The other even things, like a good example, right, is, has there been a court order issued?
Yes.
Where this person is actually obligated to pay some money.
Is there a law?
You know,
Yes.
It's things like that. Other intrusive questions. Have you thought about your plan for after if anything happens?
Right.
Do you have a will?
Do you have a will? Retirement.
People don't, what are your retirement plans?
Right.
Do you save into a pension fund? Do you? These are the kind of intrusive questions you want to know.
And the answers will give you insight into how this person thinks overall.
Exactly.
If a person is like, YOLO, why should I? You know if you're well matched. If you're like, hey, this is a red flag.
Exactly.
These are things that you should talk about.
Exactly.
You should definitely talk about them.
But those things, the ideal time to talk about those things is when now, you know, someone has asked you out and you've become exclusive, and the relationship is now becoming serious, where now you want to make a long-term commitment with her. You don't wait until
don't wait to be engaged.
No.
And it's not a time limit. If that stage that you're talking about is 3 months in, start talking.
Exactly.
Start talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have about 2 more. What is the best way to explain the concept of money to a child?
Ooh, good one.
What's the best age?
Good one.
Like, do you start to have this conversation?
Good one. I'll borrow from my own example with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we started.
Yes.
So, one thing we did is we got her piggy bank when she was like 6 years old.
Right.
And we would give her like a little money, you know, every week. And then we'd tell her.
So it's not an allowance. Is it an allowance?
It's not even an allowance.
Okay.
It's just money that, you know, you just want to teach her a few things.
Yeah.
With, you know, if she wants to maybe go and buy sweets in the shop, you give her like the equivalent of 100 shillings. Yeah. And then you tell her higher. Now, mommy, out of these 100 shillings, this piggy bank is where you put money that you want to use later.
Later.
Not that
now.
You don't want to use now. And you can decide whether it's 10 shillings or 20 shillings or 50 shillings. You can put it there. And then the other thing we taught her is also to give back to, you know, to God.
Okay.
So things like going and giving offering in church.
Offering.
So take some there.
Yes.
So we started from when we were 6 years old. Then she got into that concept of, hey, okay, you can actually learn how to save. You can learn how to, you know, use money properly.
Yeah.
Then now she's 12. And now what we've done is we've graduated that now, where we've got her own bank card. We pay her weekly allowance, and then the weekly allowance is based on her doing certain chores in the house.
Yes.
It's not money for free.
No.
It's teaching her that you work and then you get paid.
Yeah.
We've
been here 2 weeks.
Yeah.
She does chores almost every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not money that you just get for free. So she learns how to work for it.
Yes.
And then now with there are certain apps that you can get now that offer children's bank accounts where you as a parent can even set spending limits.
Yeah, right. We have that on Mpesa. So Kendi can have Mpesa, but I know what she's spending money on.
Exactly. And then you can even set up a virtual savings account. So like in our case, we sat down with Nia and we asked her, what is it you want to save towards? Is there something you really want to buy?
Yes.
Then she told us, because she's really into art.
Yes.
So she wanted to buy some very special felt pens that are used for coloring.
Okay.
I asked her, how much is it? She went and did research, and she came and told us it's this much.
Yes.
We told her, okay, we are going to set aside some money for you to save towards that.
From that allowance.
Yeah.
So we don't give you the full amount.
We don't give you the full amount. We set up some money so that it goes towards that.
Yeah.
And then what that teaches her now is to start tracking. So she'll come to me every month and ask me, Daddy, how much do I have in my savings? Can I go and buy this thing now? So it's already teaching her that thing of goals. Setting goals with the money that you get and not spending everything you have.
That's incredible.
So for me, I would say from the best time to start teaching a child is from the time they can understand simple concepts of reward and risk.
Yeah. Well, if I give you this money, you're going to spend it here.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. And don't give them money for free.
No.
It has to be. It has to be tied to something that they have done to work for it and earn it. Yeah.
Do you know what I really like as well about teaching children about money? A tool I like, Monopoly.
Yes. Yeah. Similar to that, there's another game we have called Game of Life.
That one, but that one is so. There's one for kids. Because Game of Life is deep.
Yeah.
Monopoly you can finish.
But Monopoly you can finish.
Yeah, I like Monopoly.
Game of Life is similar.
It's money.
But yeah, exactly. And the good thing with Monopoly is then you even start getting into questions of, oh, I want to buy a property, but I don't have the money.
I don't have the money. I can mortgage. I can. Yeah, exactly.
So now with Nia, one of the things we teach her, this is one of the things that I talked about in my previous episode, is one of the lies that the financial world have sold. Is when you're looking at borrowing, you only ever look at how much it's going to cost you per month. You don't look at the whole debt.
The entire debt.
And you think, how long will it, what is the shortest time it will take me to pay this thing off? So now with Nia, we teach her, we say, okay, mommy, if you want to borrow money to buy this property, what is the shortest time you can pay this thing off in?
Okay.
It's not how much you can afford.
No.
Right now. It is what is the shortest time. And that's a whole different mindset, because then she's like, hey, no, this thing, if I buy this thing, is going to take me, I don't know, 5 years. No, let me leave it for now.
Wow.
You see?
I need to find that game. Last question. When exactly do you declare bankruptcy?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. So, just to give a definition here, you're technically bankrupt when you are no longer able to meet your obligations. So either you have more debt than you're able to service from your income, or you've lost income and you're not able to sustain the way you live.
Yeah, but people declare bankruptcy when they're millionaires.
Yes, and there are reasons for that. And in those cases, sometimes people declare bankruptcy because they do not want their assets sold off to pay certain debts.
Yeah, to pay the debt.
And then there are people who do all sorts of other crazy things, like you go and hide assets in another entity so that it's not tied to you. Those kind of things.
But it's important to note, once you declare bankruptcy, you cannot borrow.
That's one. Number two is, it's not the kind of question that I can give a blanket answer to, because it will depend on your specific circumstances, and in some cases it might actually be better to do it.
I've heard that. I've heard some people say that, right? Yeah.
But also, like you're rightly saying, Kitt, declaring bankruptcy has some implications. So number one is you may not be able to borrow.
Yeah.
Number two is similar to what I talked about with the debt before. You're also precluded from operating in certain industries. Financial services is one of them. You may be precluded from having board positions in certain companies, because like I was saying, declaring bankruptcy is almost a mark against you in terms of your ability to meet obligations.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
It's a scarlet letter.
Exactly, right? But like I say, it's not one of those questions that I can give a blanket answer to, because it is very individual to your specific circumstances. And I would suggest that you go and get legal advice. You go and get tax advice. And you also go and get advice from other experts, depending on your specific situation. Whether you're talking about you as an individual or whether you're talking about a company, because there are two different kind of laws that apply for individuals versus companies. So it's not something that I can give that a justifiable answer to. Because it's as complicated as whatever the situation is.
Bro. Whoa, okay, those were awkward. But you answered them so well. Thank you for coming on. It's always nice to talk money with you.
I'm sweating, man. Hey, some of those questions were hard. Hiding assets.
And it's warm out today, finally, for the first time. Obviously, once we go outside, it will be dying. But it's nice and warm today. But thanks for coming on, and please, we're going to shoot another one when you come.
Yes,
in December.
We
must do it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.
Bye.
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 You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here.